What is one problem that y'all think the NBA needs to fix? I know a lot of y'all probably gonna be like, oh, they need to fix the sports betting. They need to make sure that these players play so we can get our parlays and get our money and da 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 da. I agree with you, twin. I ain't gonna lie. But today we reacted to the NBA needs to fix this problem. Honestly, I don't know what the problem is, but we finna figure it out, man. Shout out to the boy Jimmy High Roller, and let's get started with this video, man. And we got John Cena getting yoked out. The Spurs, how the Spurs been doing the Thunder? No cap, bro. What it is, like 3-0? They beat the Thunder like 3 times this year. Carmelo's legacy got nothing. Jokic took his number in Denver. Top 10. KD took his greatest. Ooh. That is. SGA in the rough every game. Bro, no cap. I have not heard from Paul George this year. Like, I'm not trolling, y'all. Like, I don't even know. Like, I have not heard of Paul George this year. Like, even this video, it got. Let me be quiet. But no cap, I hadn't heard from Paul George at all this year. Like, his podcast, none of that.
Y'all got beef? I'm like, beef?
Yeah.
Like, we're out there competing, but beef?
Kevin Love, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Al Jefferson, Drew Gooden, Josh Smith, Tim Thomas, Antoine Walker, Lamar Odom, Jason Williams, Horace Grant, Otis Thornton.
The NBA season is in.
Off rip, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. If y'all think Draymond Green if y'all think Kenny Martin better than Draymond Green, bro, y'all tripping. 100%. 100% tripping.
Full swing, and it's about that time. We've got a new batch of hot takes to look at today. The good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious.
Shout out to Jimmy, man.
Today's video is sponsored by Factor 75. Factor is a gourmet
My boy
meal
gotta
kit
get his
service
bills
that makes
paid
eating
for
your
sure. We're
nutritious,
gonna skip
fresh,
ahead, though,
meal
my guy.
prepping, strength per meal, 5 ingredient.
We're gonna skip
Strength
ahead,
plan that
man.
fit.
Dang.
This week I went with the chef's choice. I got my meal.
All right, here we go.
A good to look back on a great year of basketball, fond memories and bright futures. But instead, we're gonna do the exact opposite and dive
look
into
at
some of
hot
the
takes.
hottest NBA takes the internet has to offer.
Facts, bro. I don't even know what is worse on, bro. I feel like Twitter, X. I feel like it got to be the worst on X, bro. I feel like the takes on X is a little bit crazy, and I think the takes that be on TikTok, a lot of it come from X. A lot of the crazy ones, bro.
Beginning with this one that says the 2017 Cavaliers beat this year's Thunder. And this take just falls under the umbrella of X team from the past beats this year's Thunder, which is also just a subcategory of X player from the past is better than current SGA. The
Yep.
worst discourse in all of basketball at the moment. First it was the Thunder aren't as good as the 2017 Warriors, then it was they aren't better than the 2015 Warriors, and now they aren't better than the 2017 Cavaliers.
I'm gonna be real, bro. That 2017 Cavs team was hooping, dog. Then they go to the playoffs. They only lost like one game in the playoffs or something like that. They went like 16-1 or something. Bro, they was hooping, dog. And I know the Thunder good, but bro, it's just something different. Them boys was running that flow, dog. I don't know, that shit different, dog. And them boys, they was running that flow, man.
I saw someone say the Thunder wouldn't even beat the 2013 Pacers.
Yeah, this a stretch. I feel like they'll definitely beat the Pacers. They'll beat the Pacers, but that 2017 Warriors team, I don't know.
What? Can we just give it a rest? I knew one day fans of 2010s basketball would eventually become the unks that downplay the pedigree of future players and teams, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. We are now the 90s old heads we used to despise. How quickly we went from the Thunder are too inexperienced to the regular season doesn't matter
We
if you
the
can't
old
get it
heads,
done
bro.
in the playoffs to, well, they won, but they barely squeaked it out over a mid-Pacers team. What exactly do the Thunder have to do to be taken seriously? Not only are they a great team, they do all the things we want great teams to do. They're homegrown.
I agree, man. I think the Thunder hate is a little bit forced, bro. A lot of people, bro, you can just go on any video, any NBA video, whatever. Somebody's probably like, oh, I bet Shea is at the free throw line right now or something like that, which definitely is funny. It's definitely funny. But I honestly think being able to draw fouls is a skill. That's just my opinion. I do think being able to draw fouls is a skill, and I feel like if I was in the league, I feel like I honestly think that's like IQ a little bit. Definitely drawing fouls, and I just feel like whenever you're so good, that's when people really, really, really start to hate. I never seen Shea get this much hate until literally he became who he is. Um, yeah,
They play awesome defense, they're tough and physical, team-oriented ball, they don't rely on threes, they're deep, well-coached, composed. What other tests do they need to pass? I don't know who would win
bro,
a
them
matchup between the
jaws is so
27
tough, dog.
composed. What
Look at those, bro. These are tough, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Them tough.
other tests do they need to pass? I don't know who would win a matchup between the 2017 Cavs and this year's Thunder. That Cavs team was really good, and they did win one game in the finals against the greatest team of all time. But I do know that the Thunder have one of, if not the best defense in NBA history. They're 10 players deep, they have the reigning MVP, and they won an NBA championship. To say the
Facts.
2017 Cavaliers would
But
give
bro,
the
I ain't gonna lie, that team, the Pacers took them to some games, man. I don't know. And then
best team in the league today, belt to ass, is also saying the 2017 Cavaliers are far better than any team in the NBA today. And I just don't buy that. I remember at the time how people felt about that Cavs team, how they had many flaws, had an easy run to the finals, and were carried by LeBron. And as
Facts.
much as I wish it were true, prime LeBron does not conquer all. We have plenty of evidence for this. But this is just the way things go. People fall in love with a certain era, usually the one they grew up with, then in an attempt to preserve those memories, either completely rewrite or exaggerate what happened and tear down the new guys in the process. Do you know how many James Harden apologists have surfaced recently?
let me see these. Disrespect, James Harden, Prime Harden clears MJ. Prime Harden is better than D Wade. Okay, look. I do think this right here, Prime Harden clears MJ offensively. I'm not saying he's a better player, but Prime Harden is a better scorer than Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he's a better player, but
Praising his prime years and how unstoppable he was, and I agree. But these are the same people that hated his game when it was happening, called him an unethical, foul-baiting playoff choker.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. They did call him a foul. Well, he scored this many points. Well, he shot this many free throws. Like I remember. Yep.
The only difference between being hated and being loved is time. At the time, you know what people said when the 73-win Warriors lost the championship in 2016? That they were frauds. It ain't worth a thing if it don't got that ring. As if because they lost in the finals, everything they did that season was in vain.
And I hate that.
Fast forward 10 years.
I hate that. I hate the whole if you don't do this, like, bro, it's hard to win a championship in the league. Like, it's hard, bro. Like, sports is hard. 100%. Sports is definitely hard. I do think though that was one of the greatest teams. I do think it matters a little bit, but I don't think it matters that much. You know what I mean, chat? I mean, like, them losing, it does hurt the team. It does look bad a little bit, but not really though. You get what I'm saying? Because like I said, winning is hard, dog. It really is.
People are now using the 2016
These other folks
Warriors
get paid
as
for
the
a
gold
reason too.
standard of excellence. But the Thunder have it even worse. Not only did they win a championship, they've come into this season with one of the most dominant stretches in NBA history, and they are still being discredited in the most creative, disingenuous ways imaginable. And in
Facts.
10 years, I cannot wait to hear people say how incredible and historic and great the 2025 Thunder were, despite saying none of those things right now. We must refrain from becoming the thing we despised and give credit where credit is due. I
Facts.
do not like the Thunder's antics just as much as the next guy.
Forget the 2017 Warriors, the Cavs team that lost to them are sweeping OKC and it's not even close. I'm trying to look at the matchups in my head. Kyrie, Shea, JR, Dort. I don't know, chat. I do think OKC it's hard. It's hard. I think as a team, I think OKC, peaks a little bit, but the Cavs got Bron. Like I mean, it kind of levels out when you got Bron on the team. I'm not even trying to meet Rod for real, but I mean it is what it is.
But it is okay to admit that they are a great team who could probably go toe-to-toe with just about any team in NBA history. Now our next take says James Harden is more influential than Steph Curry. And as blasphemous as this may sound, there is some truth here.
It is some truth to this, chat. I'm
may
not even
have
gonna lie.
single-handedly
Chat, is definitely some truth to this. There's not 100% true, but people, and I hate this. People act like they can't give other people credit. Like, bro, I mean, this guy's pretty good too. Like he's in the NBA for a reason as well, bro. James, I am now was more influential. Now that need to be worded a little different right here for sure. Was more influential, no, but he was influential. Like this tweet need to be worded a little bit different, but.
Blasphemous as this may sound, there is some truth here. Steph may have single-handedly changed the course of NBA history more than any other player. On a macro scale, Curry caused a shift in the entire timeline of...
Chat, I can name... Okay, before he even named what James Harden did, I can name it right now, chat. James Harden, step back. Everybody doing the step back. Or everybody, start doing the step back. Euro. Now, this one is a little shaky because the Euro, has been around for a minute. Ginobili was doing the Euro. Like, people did the Euro. But I just feel like whenever James Harden did it, that's when it really, like, the Euro really, really, really took off. I mean, then James Harden had the cooking, like, the whole stirring the pot. He had that, like, and maybe that's it, maybe. I'm not really sure. Let's see.
Basketball. But on a micro scale, when you look around the league and the archetype of players we see today, you're more likely to see influences of James Harden.
Get up.
For better
Hey,
or
I don't
for
think this
worse.
is a crossover though, chat. He hit his look at their foot got tangled up. You see it? Their foot got tangled up right here. I mean, maybe, but I don't know though.
The influences of James Harden, for better or for worse. The step backs, the physicality, the crafty downhill scoring, the
told you.
ball-dominant combo guards, the ways in which players get their points, the foul baiting. In a perfect world, everyone would emulate what Steph does. But it's not a perfect world, and there's no one else on the planet who can do what Steph does. Harden's game, on the other hand, is replicable for a lot of players, and it's effective enough to convert those players into Harden's successors. And this is probably where the natural
But
course of the game was
James
going to
Harden in
inevitably
Houston
lead, but it was Harden.
Was crazy, dog. I mean, if you wasn't watching basketball during that stretch when he was in Houston, bro, he was on the Rockets, chat. I feel like y'all need to go back and really look at that. I wish it was like an app or something where we can watch this like a whole full season. Like I wish it was somewhere we can do that, man.
Who really perfected this ISO-heavy, change of pace, triple threat style of play that we see littered throughout the NBA today. In fact, it's such a popular style that it has become essentially the default
Oh my
for most
gosh.
elite guards. Even from such a popular style
Trae
that it has
Young.
become
Oh
essentially
my
the default for
gosh.
most elite
Was that
guards.
Kyrie?
Even from such a popular style that it has become essentially the
Oh no, that wasn't
default for
Kyrie.
most elite guards. Even from a historical perspective, Harden is one of a handful of players that changed the actual rules of the game and continues to have his tactics used by the league's best players. But Steph Curry is a singularity. He didn't just change the way players play the game, he changed the game itself.
No
Not
cap.
just with his three-point shooting, but with his emphasis on off-ball movement, his gravity from 35 feet out, and his demonstration as a smaller guard being the best player on a championship-winning
No
team.
cap.
And his influence will be felt
Curry
long
definitely
after
changed
he
the game for
retires.
sure.
James Harden did change the game, but Steph Curry may be the biggest game changer in basketball history.
Facts.
Stop taking meeting notes.
Now this next take comes from Nick Wright, and it's an approach on the go
I don't know about Buddy right here, dog. Buddy do be having some I don't know, bro.
debate that I've never heard of before.
So I have a theory. if Jordan never existed and the universally accepted greatest player of all time was Kareem, because that's who it would have been, a guy like Tim Duncan would be in the GOAT debate. What people turned the GOAT debate into was not who's the greatest player ever, it's who reminds me of Michael Jordan the most, which is why Kobe is probably a touch historically overrated, because he is the most similar
Over who? Let me see.
Michael overrated, because it's probably a touch historically overrated, because he is the most similar to Michael Jordan.
He's overrated because he's the most similar to Michael Jordan. So I'm gonna just assume that what he did on the court, I guess, don't really matter. If I ain't mistaken, is that what Buddy's trying to say? Of course, his game reminiscent of it a little bit, but I mean, he still had to go out and do what he had to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because Mike was considered the GOAT, people elevated Kobe past a guy like Tim Duncan, who was just objectively better than him. Instead of the question being, who's the greatest basketball player of all time, people asked that question, but what they were really asking is, who's the most similar to Michael Jordan? And
I've never heard of that, bro. I've never ever heard of that. I've never heard of that. And if correct me if I'm wrong, I just don't think people hate LeBron. I don't think people would sit there and be like, LeBron is, yes, he's close to Michael Jordan. They hate LeBron. I don't think I don't know.
those are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Nick is 100% right here. Michael Jordan was such an overwhelmingly dominant and popular player that once it was established that he was the GOAT, the goalpost shifted to who is the closest thing to Jordan competition. Even things like what the
that
greatest
lay
player
was
should
crazy, I ain't
shifted
gonna
to
lie.
who is the closest thing to
Look at this.
Jordan competition. Even things
That was crazy. He gripped it, and that was crazy.
like what the greatest player should look like or what their role on the court should be changed because of Jordan. MJ was many things, but first and foremost, he was a scorer. And so scoring became the overwhelmingly largest indicator of greatness. How
Okay.
a player moves, Jordan was graceful and explosive, and so the next guy must also move like a cat and jump out of the gym. It wasn't who's the next great player, it was literally who's the next Michael Jordan.
I feel I don't know.
Of course, that player was Kobe Bryant. Many fans will even use the logic of if MJ's the GOAT and Kobe's the closest thing to MJ, then he must be the second greatest player of all time. And although
It's a lot of truth in what people say, so I do feel like it's a little bit of truth in this, but I also feel like I don't know. We need to stop tweaking, bro. Kobe was like that, bro. Kobe was like that. I don't think he probably should be in the GOAT conversation, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Bron and Jordan is the only two in the GOAT conversation. And I feel like Kobe is right there. Like, Kobe is right there, though. Kobe is right there. I feel like GOAT there's a combination of things. What you do on the court, I feel like off the court, I feel like just a lot of things. I don't feel like Tim Duncan was like that. Don't get me wrong, he was a star for sure. Like he was the great a legend for sure. But I don't think, man, Kobe went over to Asia or wherever they went. Man, them folks love Kobe, bro. People love Kobe, dog. And I think that plays a little bit in the GOAT debate. People love Jordan. Like, people think Jordan is Black Jesus. Like, I think that plays into the GOAT debate. But I get what he's saying about people saying that, they're the closest to, I don't know, though.
Although I have Kobe higher all time than a lot of fans, I do think this approach has plagued and hurt these conversations for decades now. Despite Tim Duncan's incredible impact throughout his career, the fact that he looked, acted, and played nothing like MJ certainly did not help his GOAT case. I think
Okay.
we're seeing this same issue with Nikola Jokic right now. Because his game isn't super flashy, he doesn't play above the rim, and he doesn't look like an ultra-elite world-breaking, some fans just dismiss the fact that he is one of the greatest players the game has ever seen. When Jordan retired, he wasn't just the GOAT, he was the blueprint. And if you weren't built from the same design, you were inherently penalized for it. However, as time goes along and the average basketball fan becomes removed from the days of MJ's cultural gravity, I do think we are moving away from this way of thinking. Impact and greatness comes in many different shapes and forms. And although Michael Jordan is the greatest player,
Hey, this is something that really gets you thinking, bro. Like, I'm really sitting over here thinking, dog. I'm not gonna lie. This video definitely has me thinking a little bit. Opening up my mind,
of all
really.
time, you don't have to resemble him or his game to be in that conversation. This is a great take. Now,
It's a very thinkable take. It definitely makes you open your eyes, especially once you hear people out about it. I'm not saying it is true, but it's a good talking point for sure. For sure. I like conversations where people talk. Like, let's talk about who's the GOAT without getting so defensive, and so let's be open-minded. I feel like this is a good talking
our
point.
last take comes from a disgruntled NBA viewer who says late game fouling has ruined the end of games. And I could not agree more. Watching the end of tight games these days is a special kind of torture. They say
Fact.
time
It
travel
drags out like crazy, bro. It drags out.
isn't possible, but NBA teams manage to turn 30 seconds into 20 freaking minutes.
Facts.
And the worst part is, the only time this
It drags out like crazy. It ain't like NFL, bro. But of course it's not. They ain't fouling in NFL.
strategy is used
Duh.
is during good, close games, absolutely butchering all the excitement of the moment. In the OKC Spurs matchup a couple weeks ago, the last 10 seconds of game time lasted nearly 12 minutes. This was a great game for 46 minutes with what could have been an exciting ending, pissed away with timeouts, commercial breaks, and free throws. And right when you think the bid is up and teams are going to stop intentionally fouling each other and let the clock run,
Look at Kelly Olynyk.
and right when you think the bid is up and teams are going to stop
Bro,
intentionally,
bro, people like this be having underrated. Is this? He look kind of familiar. Look at Harrison Barnes. People like that be having very underrated NBA careers. Kelly Olynyk, Harrison Barnes, like them people still in the league, and it looks like Harrison Barnes at least got in. Does Harrison Barnes play? Like I said, I don't really watch a lot of the Spurs, but like Jeff Teague, people like that, them had like a lot of that like great in the NBA career, a great one, bro.
fouling each other and let the clock run out, they inexplicably foul again, and now you're stuck watching another Wingstop ad. Look at the play-by-play of the final 25 seconds of this game. What have they done to the game I love? 20
6.1,
fouls,
6.1.
24 subs,
20
and
fouls.
not a single lead change
Wait.
to show for it. 20 fouls, 25 seconds of this game. What have they done to the game I love? 20 fouls,
20 fouls is crazy.
24 subs, and not a single lead change to show for it.
Jeez.
Intentionally fouling late in games has always been a thing, but it wasn't until fairly recently when teams started regularly fouling while
Hey, these are hard, chat. Are these like the D Rose jerseys? I don't know. Are these like the D Rose prints? I don't know. Let me know. I ain't that educated on them.
up 3, attempting to preserve their lead. So now instead of one team fouling and the other team trying to avoid it by playing sound, disciplined defense, both teams are out there just chasing each other around getting fouls. Now, this shouldn't be a hot take, at least I don't think
Kevin Love on the freaking Jazz, bro. Great NBA career, bro. Great one.
should, but there are still a lot of fans who believe this is a legitimate strategy that shouldn't take a backseat to our viewing experience. That the priority of these teams is to win.
I agree to a certain point. I think it is a little strategic for sure, especially like you said, they made 24 subs. I think it's strategic for sure. But I am gonna be honest. It does drag out for sure. It really does. But I also do think it's strategic. So I guess maybe they can find a way to, I guess, make it a little bit quicker. Like he said, this person right here won't change anything. They'll find a loophole. I feel like I don't know, but I get both sides for sure. I get both sides.
not consider how entertaining it is for those watching. And this is a legitimate strategy, and I do agree to an extent. But that extent came and went a long time ago. Winning has always been a priority in the NBA, and that has never stopped the end of games from being entertaining before. A lot of people don't think this is a problem that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
But if we were trying to fix this issue, some plausible solutions may be once the clock reaches a certain point, say 1 minute left, the team getting fouled gets one free throw and possession.
But Chad, I think it's strategic. Oh, he is explaining. Let me go back.
If we were trying to fix this issue,
Let's see.
some plausible solutions may be once the clock reaches a certain point, say 1 minute left, the team getting fouled gets one free throw and possession. Another suggestion some fans have made is 3 free throws on any intentional fouls committed beyond the three-point line within the final minute of game time. But virtually every possible solution offered up inherently penalizes the team with the lead. So it doesn't look like this strategy will be going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay.
You don't see this tactic play out in every close game, but when you do, get comfortable, buddy, because you're about to witness
Jeez,
a
football
30-minute
tackle,
ad break
bruh.
with some occasional free throws. This is a great take, but let me know what you think.
If I was Adam Silver, I would try removing fouling while up 3. Late game fouling is
Share your hot takes in the comments below. And as always, the hotter, the better.
hot takes, chat. Hot takes is something that bro, hot takes and raised baiting, bro. Those are like the two things. A lot of people can't have conversations no more because I don't know. I don't know. But if y'all like this video, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, let me know in the comments down below things that y'all would change in the NBA. I agree with the foul stuff. I do think it's strategic. I agree on both sides, chat. I really do. I agree on both sides. So let me know in the comments what you would change. I appreciate y'all clicking this video. I'll see y'all next vid, man.